Ever wondered what it's like to be completely and totally cornered? Well, if you have, then Nickyverse Season 30, Episode 5 is basically a masterclass in that exact feeling. Today, we're going to break down the threats that are closing in on Stinger Flynn, and we'll do it by digging into the episode's title, some really key lines of dialogue, and the conflicts that pretty much define his entire struggle.
So, right off the bat, that title, Enemies in the Shadows, it's not just a cool name, right? It's a huge clue. It's basically a promise of paranoia, of hidden danger. It tells us that Flynn isn't just up against one bad guy. He's dealing with threats from every single angle, some out in the open, and others just lurking. This title is our roadmap for the whole episode.
So that's the big question, isn't it? Who are these enemies exactly? And what do these intense confrontations tell us about Stinger Flynn and the absolutely brutal world of Nickyville? That's what we're going to unpack. Let's start with the most obvious threat.
First on the list is the very familiar face of Jax. Now, this isn't some brand new mysterious villain showing up out of nowhere. Oh no, this is old baggage. This is a conflict that comes from a long shared history, and trust me, it is anything but friendly.
And Flynn, man, he does not pull any punches. He gets right to the point. This one single line tells you everything you need to know. This isn't just some petty grudge. We're talking about a betrayal so deep, it almost destroyed their entire world. The stakes are intensely personal, and they are absolutely explosive.
And this slide just lays it all out, plain and simple. You can see how these two are on completely different planets. On one side, you have Jax trying to play it cool, like, hey, let's just bury the hatchet, have some fun. But Flynn's reality on the other side, it's a raw, painful reminder of what almost happened. His rejection just slams the door shut, hard. There is zero room for negotiation here. So let's be clear. Jax is enemy number one, and he's the threat you can see coming. The history is there. It's ugly. And for Flynn, forgiveness is just, it's not even an option. Okay, so Jax is the devil you know. But now we get to the really creepy stuff. We're shifting gears from a straight-up fight to something way more sinister. When it comes to Lily, the battlefield isn't the street. It's all in your head.
It starts so simple, right? Come to my tea party. Sounds nice, almost sweet. But you gotta remember where we are. This is Nickyville. And in Nickyville, even a tea party is probably a trap.
And then, boom, Flynn's reaction just rips that whole innocent act to shreds. He immediately calls her out. Her tea party is a direct callback to what he calls a twisted slumber party from hell. I mean, can you imagine the level of cruelty it takes to weaponize someone's past trauma like that? Lily isn't just an enemy, she's a psychological tormentor.
And that's what makes Lily so freaking terrifying. See, Jax will come at you head-on. Lily, on the other hand, will smile to your face while twisting the knife of your worst memories. Her weapon isn't physical, it's psychological. And honestly, that's a much more dangerous game.
So just when it feels like the walls are completely closing in on Flynn, the whole vibe of the episode just flips. Someone new steps into the frame, but this time it's not another enemy, it's a protector. Josh arrives, and believe me, everything changes. And he does not mess around. His entrance is just a masterclass in intimidation. Just one question delivered with pure, uncut menace. There's no back and forth, no witty banter. It's just a raw power move that instantly clears the air and sends the bullies packing. All right, let's put on our literature class hats for just a second. In storytelling, Josh is what you'd call a foil. It's a fancy way of saying he's the complete opposite of the bad guys. His straight-up, I-got-your-back attitude makes Lily's sneaky mind games and Jax's two-faced nature look even worse. He's like a bright light that just shows you all the grime. But his role here is so much more than just being the muscle. When he says he's not surprised about Jax or Lily, he's doing something incredibly important. He's validating Flynn's reality. He's telling him, you're not crazy. These people are dangerous. And in a world filled with gaslighting and manipulation, that kind of validation is an absolute lifeline. All right, so let's zoom out and put all these pieces together. After running this gauntlet of enemies, where does that leave our guy, Stinger Flynn? Well, the answer is in a very, very tight spot. This is the grim reality for Flynn right now. He's fighting a war on two fronts. You've got the open hostility of Jax on one side and the psychological warfare of Lily on the other. His own past is being used against him, and he is almost completely alone. With Josh as his only real ally, the odds are just not looking good. And so we're left with this massive, lingering question.
The episode promised us enemies in the shadows, but we've seen they're just as dangerous out in the light. So when you're surrounded on all sides, how does one jellyfish freak possibly survive in a shark tank like Nickyville? The answer to that question is probably going to determine the future of this entire series.